Hi, welcome to my channel Ruby Knit, Crochet y Tejidos. In this video I'm gonna teach you how to knit this beautiful hat. I hope you guys like it and give it a try. And here is the list of material you're gonna need to make it. Next week I'll be making the matching cowl or knit warmer. If you are not already a subscriber, please subscribe and click on the little bell. That way you get a notification each time I upload a video. Remember, I make my videos in Spanish and English. If you receive a Spanish video and you want to see it in English, go to the main page of my YouTube channel that you will find the English version in there. To make this hat, that's going to be a set for a cowl that I'm going to do next week. I'm going to use Bernat Wool Up Worsted Canadian Heritage Collection. The color is brown, medium 4, 80% acrylic, 20% wool, 100 grams. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous color. I'm going to use two different size netting needle. This one is a 4.5 for the border and a 5mm for the top of her hat. This is from my Chiagu set. In the description box below, I'm going to leave the link where I bought these needles. They're amazing. And the cable is the 8 inches. I'm going to use double pointed needle for the decrease, but if you don't know how to decrease with double pointed needle, or you don't have them and you want to decrease at the end just by doing two together, two together, two together, and then one round with no decrease, and another round with two together, two together, two together, and another round with no decrease, and then just cut the yarn and pass it through those loops. You can do that. I will give you that option after you have the length of the hat. But for mine, I love to make them with a double pointed needle because it'll give them a better finish on the top of the hat. So if you are not using double pointed needle, you don't gonna need these extra markers because this is to guide myself. You just at the end will do that. And I'm gonna use this round counter. You can use a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil. Measurement tape, tapestry needle, and scissor. This is the graph or chart that I did for the stitch. The stitch is multiple of 14 by 28 rounds. So the squares that you see empty, they're nets, and the ones with the dots are purl stitches. Very easy. I'm gonna leave a picture of this chart in my Facebook page, Ruby Knits Crochet Tejido, or in my Instagram, Ruby Knits Crochet Tejidos. That way you can guide yourself by the picture if you like, or by the video, whichever way you want it. So the stitch is multiple of 14, so I'm gonna do 6 repetitions. That's 84 stitches, so I had to cast on 85. That extra is to close the circumference of our hat. Now what we have to do is leave a tail long enough to cast on those 85 stitches. Now to leave the tail, what I'm gonna do is gonna come here and I'm gonna wrap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. 20 and 20 is for 40. And 40 and 40, 80 plus extra for those 5 and a little extra for tail. I always like to leave a tail. That way it's easier to lose that tail. So now after you do your loop, you're gonna come here, pass your needle through, and you're gonna start casting on your 85 stitches. You can cast on whichever way you like to do your cast on. I always like to do the long tail cast on, so I'm used to do this one. So if you want this for a kid, you can remove 14 stitches to do this hat. And this yarn is really soft. I love it. First time working with it, and I really enjoying it so far. But you know, when you touch like that, it'll feel really nice. I'm going to continue like this, casting on my 85 stitches. Once you have your 85 stitches, you're going to do the first row with the work open. So you're going to net the net, and yarn to the front as to purl, and you're going to pass that purl without working. Yarn to the back, knit, yarn to the front, pass the purl without working. Yarn to the back, knit, yarn to the front, pass the purl without working. Yarn to the back, knit, yarn to the front, pass the purl without working. And like that is how you're going to work this first row. Once you finish, you're going to make sure the circumference of your hat is not twisted before you're going to close the two ends together, like so. Now we're going to close the circumference. So the first stitch from your left hand needle, you're going to pass it to the right hand needle, and that last stitch that you did, you will pull it over. If you want, you can make it bigger like this, don't matter, because you're going to pull it back. You're going to pass it over, and when you pull your working yarn, it will tie that stitch in here, and it will close the circumference. Now that is the first knit without working. If you like, you can pass it to your left hand needle, place your marker, place the stitch back, and you're ready to work your purl and pass the net without working in this. So I did these few stitches in Spanish, but it's exactly the same. You're gonna start, you see I passed that net without working. It's the first one that you pass here before the marker, and then you will have a purl, and you're gonna purl the purl. Yarn to the back as to net, and you're gonna pass the net without working, but from the front strand like that. Yarn to the front of purl, yarn to the back, and knit without working, yarn to the front, purl, yarn to the back, and knit without working. And like that, you're gonna continue this second round. If you like, you can mark the round, but it really don't matter. You can guide yourself by measurement for the border. The round counter you really need it for when you're doing the stitch design on the hat. So you start with the knit without working, and you're gonna finish with the purl stitch. I already did a little piece in Spanish. Now I'm gonna start with the net, exactly the same as here. When you pass the marker, you start with the net. So you're gonna knit the net and purl the purl in this third round. I'm gonna do the border that I did for last hat. I really like that 1 by 1 rib. Define the nets. So it's a very easy rib stitch to do. Or you can do just the regular rib stitch, knit the net, purl the purl for 1.5 to 2 inches. That's from 5 to 6, from 4 to 5 centimeters. That is from 9 to 11 rounds, give or take. So like that, you're gonna continue working until you have. So I did a little piece in Spanish. So we're gonna start with the first stitch. That is a net stitch, like you start here after the marker. So we're gonna do the repetition of round 2 and 3. So I finished 3. Now we're gonna do the repetition of 2 again. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna pass the net without working and purl the purls. Pass the net without working and purl the purls. Pass the net and purl. And like that, you're going to do those 2 round repetitions until you have, like I mentioned before, 1.5 to 2 inches, depending on the width that you want for your border. and you're gonna finish with repetition of 3. Then you're gonna net the net and purl the purls. So when I have those repetition done, I will meet you here to continue. So I will show you one more time. Once you finish number 4, you're gonna do round 5, and it's a repetition of 3. So in 3, you're gonna net the net, a regular net, and a regular purl. A regular net and a regular purl. If you like, you can do this one by one rib, just like this. You don't have to do what I do in the repetition of 2, the pass the net without working, but I like to do that because I found that the net stitch is more defined when you do this stitch like that. So you can do a 1 by 1 or a 2 by 2 rib, whichever you like the most. So when I have my border, I will meet you here. I finished the border and I did 13 round in order to have my 2 inches. And 2 inches is 5 centimeters. Now I'm going to change needle size, and since mine are the one that you can remove them, I will remove this one and attach the 5 millimeter. Now if the ones that you have, you don't can take apart, they're one piece circular, what you're gonna do is in the first round that we're gonna do of the stitch, you're gonna start netting with the 5 millimeter, okay? I'm going to place a marker every 40 stitches. That way I can guide myself with the chart and it will be much easier. I already put my round counter to 0. That way I can guide myself for the round as well. And we're going to start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 net, 2 purl, 1 net, 1 purl, 1 net, 1 purl, 1 net, 1 purl, and then we start all over again. I'm going to do my 2 first repetition in Spanish and then the other 2. So you're going to start with 6 net. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yarn to the front, 2 purl. That will be a stitch 7 and 8. And net 9. A purl 10 and net 11, a purl 12 and net 13 and a purl 14, and I will place my marker. That's to count my 14 stitches, and the next one I don't need to count because I already have the markers. So you're going to start with a repetition again. 6 net, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 2 purl, 7 and 8, and then 1 net, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Place my marker and continue with the repetition. You're going to do 6 net, 2 purl, 1 net, 1 purl, 1 net, 1 purl, 1 net, 1 purl, and start all over again. And at the end, you're going to finish with 1 purl before this main. I finished that round, and now what you do in round 1, you're going to do in 2. What you do in 3, you will do in 4. 5 and 6, 7 and 8, the same. 9 and 10, 11 and 12. So 2 round is always the same in the entire piece. So we're going to do exactly the same repetition of round 1 here in 2. I forgot to mark that I did 1. So you're going to knit 6. And 6. Purl 2. Now you're going to do 1 knit 1 purl until you get to the marker. And 1 knit and a purl. And like that you're going to do the same repetition. Exactly what you did in round 1 you're going to do in round 2. Now we're going to work in round 3. And this stitch, these 2 purl, it will move 1 stitch over. And then these ones where you did the net, they will be purl. And where you did purl, they will be net. It's like the seed stitch, a double seed stitch in here. So you're going to start 3 with 5 nets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nets. And then you will do a purl. 2 net, 1 purl, 1 net, 1 purl, 1 net, 1 purl, and you finish with a net. Oops. So 5 nets, 3, 4, and 5, 1 purl, 2 nets, now 1 purl, 1 net, purl, net, purl, and a net. And that's the repetition that you're going to do again. And what we're doing here is these 2 purl, we are moving across to the other end of this net stitch. So again, you're going to start with 5 nets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. 1 purl, 2 nets, 1 and 2, and then now you start with the 1 by 1. 1 purl, 1 net, a purl, a net, a purl, and a net stitch. And like that you're going to continue here in round 3. And remember 3 and 4 are exactly I finished number 3, and the number 4 is exactly the same as 3. You're going to do 5 nets, and 5. You're going to do 1 purl, you're going to do 2 nets, you're going to do 1 purl, 1 net, 1 purl, 1 net, 1 purl, and 1 net, and all over again you start with the same repetition as you did in round 3. Now we're going to work on 5, and you're going to do 4 nets. 1, 2, 3, 4 nets, 1 purl, 2 net, 1 purl, 1 net, 1 purl, 1 net, 1 purl, 1 net, and finish with a purl. So 4 net this time. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 purl, 2 nets, now 1 purl, 1 net until the marker. 1 purl, 1 net, a purl, and a knit, a purl, and a knit, and a purl. You pass your marker and you do that repetition. 4 knits, 1 purl, 2 knits, and then 1 purl, 1 knit until the marker. You pass your marker and start again with 4 knits, 1 purl, 2 knit, 1 purl, 1 knit until the marker, and so on. And remember what you do in round 5, you will have to do in 6 as well. In 6 again, we're going to do repetition of 5. So 4 knit, 1 purl, 2 knit, and then 1 purl, 1 knit until the marker. And you're going to continue with that repetition until the end of this round. And then in the next one, 7 and 8 is the same, and then 8 and 9, 10 and 11, okay, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 11 and 12, and 13 and 14, sorry. Like that, you're going to continue in this round number 6. Now I'm going to work on number 7, and 7 and 8 are exactly the same. You're going to knit 3. You're going to purl 1. You're going to knit 4. And then now you start with 1 purl, 1 knit. One purl, 1 knit, a purl, a knit, a purl, and a knit. You're going to pass your marker, you're going to knit 3. You're going to purl 1. You're going to knit 4. And then now you start with 1 purl, 1 knit, purl, knit, a purl, and a knit. And like that you're going to continue, and 7 and 8 is exactly the same. And number 8 is the same as number 7. So you're going to knit 3, purl 1, knit 4, and then 1 purl, 1 knit. I think with a thicker yarn, a bulky 5, this will look a really nice stitch. And maybe I will make a hat for myself to see how I look in a bulky yarn. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. After this we'll do 9 and 10, and then 11 and 12, 13 and 14, and then it changed completely. I will meet you here for the next round. Now I'm gonna work on 9, and 9 you're gonna do 2 net, 1 purl, 4 net, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 1 purl, 1 net until you get to the marker. And that's a repetition of 9 and 10. You're going to pass the marker, and again 2 net, 1 purl, 4 net, 3 and 4, and again a purl and a net until the marker. And you're going to continue like that with a repetition in those 2 rounds, 9 and 10. Again, for 10, you're going to do the repetition of 9, net 2, purl 1, net 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then purl 1, net 1 until you get to the marker. Alright, you're going to continue in number 10. Now 11, you're going to net 1, purl 1, and net 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then back again to purl 1, net 1 until the marker. And pass the marker. Again, net 1, purl 1, net 6, and 6, and purl 1, net 1 till the marker. Pass your marker and do the same repetition, and the stitches start to take form now. Again, a net, a purl, and this is in round 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Purl, net, purl, net, purl, and net. You pass the marker and do the same repetition. So we had to do 13 and 14, and we done this section of the stitch and start the next one from 15 to 28. Now 13 and 14 is the last two round with this stitch. You're gonna start with 1 purl, 6 net, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then you go back to 1 purl, 1 net, 1 purl, 1 net until you get to the marker. Purl, net, purl, net, and a purl. Pass the marker again. You're going to start with a purl, 6 net. You can notice the paper. That's the way you guys can see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then 1 purl, 1 net until you get to the marker, and so on. And what you do in this one, you will do in the next one, and 14, and then we'll change completely the stitch and one other side. So it will be a little bit easier. Like that. Again, we're gonna do the repetition of 13 here and 14, and you're gonna purl 1, you're gonna net 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and now you do 1 purl, 1 net, and that is the last repetition of this stitch. With the purl, and I start with the purl. So I'll meet you here for round 15. I finished 14. Now 15 to 28 is really easy because all these 7 stitches at the beginning, they are purl all around, and in the other side will be nets, but with that purl going across, exactly the same as we did in this side. So you're going to start with 7 purl all around, and then and here is where you have to pay a little more attention because that purl going across. So you're going to start with 6 net, 1 purl, and 16 again, the 7 purl, 6 net, 1 purl, and then when you start changing here in 17, there will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 net, 1 purl, 1 net, and so on. So you're going to start with 7 purl stitches, six and 7. Now you're going to do 6 net, and the one before the marker is your purl. So it's a really easy round. And 6, and then the last one, a purl stitch. Pass your marker, and again 7 purl, six and 7, 6 net, and a purl. And like that you're going to continue all the way to the end. It will be the same repetition in round 16. For 16, again you're going to purl those 7 stitches, and then all the round will be the same. You're going to start with your 7 purl, and then you will do your net, and the last one a purl. So this other half will be a little bit faster because you don't have to be counting as much. So you're going to do your 6 net, and the last one a purl. And then the next one is where we just do 5 net, 1 purl, 1 net, and so on, all the way up. In round 17, you're going to do again 7 purl. You see, they stay the same. But now you're going to do 5 net. And 5, you're going to do 1 purl and 1 net. And you're going to repeat this over and over until the end of this round and in round 18. I don't want to record round 18 because it's exactly the same. It's very easy what we're doing now. So you're going to do 7 purls, and 7, 5 nets, one purl, 1 net. And that's the repetition for 17 and 18. Now we're going to work in 19 and 20. They're both exactly the same. You're going to purl 7, net 4, purl 1, net 2. So purl 7, three, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You're gonna knit 4, 2, 3, and 4, purl 1, and knit 2. And that's the repetition that you're gonna do in 19 and 20. So they're both exactly the same. You pass your marker, and you're gonna purl 7 stitches. And 7, you're gonna knit 4, you're gonna purl 1, and you're gonna knit 2. So that is 19 and 20, and I will meet you here for 21 and 22. Now 21 and 22, 7 purl, 3 net, 1 purl, 3 nets. Four, 5, 6, and 7. Now 3 nets. 1, 2, and 3. 1 purl and 3 nets. Those are your 14 stitches. Pass the marker and again 7 pearls, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 3 nets, 1 pearl, and 3 nets. You pass your marker and continue with the repetition in this round 21 and 22. I wanted to show you how the stitch is looking so far. You can see it a little bit better now. So I'm working in 22. I will measure here in 23. 23 and 24 are the same, and then 25 and 26 and 27 and 28 are exactly the same. But I think before that I will be doing the decreases. I had to measure after this round. Now 23 and 24 are the same. You're gonna add purl 7, net 2, purl 1, and net 4. And I think after those 2 rounds I will be starting my decrease for the crown of our hat after round 24. And 7. Now 2 nets, 1 purl, and 4 net stitch. Pass your marker, 7 pearls, and 7, 2 nets, 1 purl, and 4 nets. And that's what you're gonna do in this round 23 and 24. Here I have the length before I start with the decrease. And look how beautiful this starts to look now. And it almost measures almost 6 inches. You see 6 inches here where my nail is. It's like 5 inches 3/4. So I'm gonna decrease in one round and in another round without decrease, and at the end I will continue with my double pointed needle, but I will continue with the repetition of my design. Once I finish with repetition of 20 or with 28, I will start again with repetition of row 1, and I will continue until I finish my hat. Now if you don't want to work with double pointed needle at the end or give that shape to the crown, you're decreasing as you go, and you want to work your hat straight and do just 4 rounds of decrease at the end, that will be an easier way for some people that don't know how to do decrease with double pointed needle. So I recommend to continue with the design. You finish 28, come back with row 1 and working until you had measure almost from the border almost 8.5 inches, probably 8.25. That way you will have those 4 rounds at decrease of the end. So for those 4 rounds of decrease, what you do is you do 1 round of net, netting 2 together, 2 together, 2 together, and a net stitch. After that, you will do 1 round with no decrease, just net all your stitches. And then the third one, you will do 2 together, 2 together, 2 together, and a net stitch. And then the fourth one, you will do all the stitches and a net stitch. You'll cut the yarn, and with that tail, with the tapestry needle, you will pass through those stitches that you will have left. You pull the tail, and you will close the top of your hat. It will be more like a straight hat, gather in the top, And that will be easier if you don't know how to work your double pointed needle, or you don't want to shape your hat from now until you have the size of the crown of your hat. I like to shape the top of my hat, and that's why I'm gonna start the decrease now, and one round I will decrease and the other one don't, and so on. But I will continue with the design of the stitch. Now we're gonna work in round 25 and 26. In 25 we do the decrease, in 26 we don't. In 25 you're gonna purl 7, and you're gonna knit 1, purl 1, and you're gonna knit 3 and knit 2 together. There are 5 stitches left, and here, since we're gonna do a decrease, the last 2 before the marker, they will be together in a knit stitch. So you're gonna start with your 7 purl, and it's easy because you can see your 7 purls there. You don't even need to count them anymore. Well, a long time ago you don't need to count. And 7. Now you're gonna knit 1, you're gonna purl 1, you're gonna knit 3, and you're gonna knit these 2 together. You pass the marker and you do that repetition. You're gonna purl 7, you're gonna knit 1, you're gonna purl 1, and you're gonna knit 3, and you're gonna knit 2 together. And like that you're gonna work in this round 25. And 26 you will purl 7, you knit 1, purl 1, and knit 4, because you don't gonna do a decrease. I want to mention, if you're working your hat straight without this type of decrease, what you have to do for 25 and 26 is that I wanted to explain this because it's a little bit different. You're gonna purl 7, you're gonna knit 1, purl 1, and knit 5, because you're not doing that decrease that we're doing. I finished 26, 27, and 28. It's the same, except in 27 we do the decrease, and 28 we don't. In 27 we're gonna purl 8 and knit the rest, except the last 2 stitches you're gonna knit them together. And in 28 you purl 8 and you knit the stitches without decrease. It's a very easy peasy. So how was this? There we go. I was cutting a little strand of yarn. Seven and 8, and you're gonna knit 3 and the last 2 together and a knit stitch. And that's the repetition that you're gonna do for decrease in 27. You pass your marker again, stitches, purl stitch, you're gonna knit 3, and knit 2 together. And like that's how you're gonna work in 27. Now if you are working straight without decrease, what you do is you purl 8 and knit the rest. And in 28 the same, you purl 8 and knit the rest until the marker. So that's how you're gonna do your decrease. So in 28, now that you're doing the decrease, you will purl 8 and you will knit 4. I finished 28. Now I'm gonna start with the repetition of 1. So you have a few options. If you're working straight, your hat will no decrease like mine. What you do is you continue with the chart until you have your 8, almost 8.5 inches, and then you do the decrease as I mentioned before. If you're doing the decreases like mine and you will continue with the stitch, I will show you how to do that. But you have a third option. You can do the top of the hat from now on after 28 in a net stitch and continue with the decrease. It will look gorgeous just with this part with a stitch and net and the crown. Okay, so I'm gonna continue with a stitch for mine, and what I'm gonna do is continue with the decrease in one round and the other one without decrease. So all the odd number round you will have the decrease and the even number you don't, until you have like 8 stitches. After that you will decrease in all the rounds. Okay, now we want to work in repetition of 1. So I'm gonna knit 6, purl 2, knit 1, purl 1, and then the other 2 together and then the stitch, because it's a net stitch that you're supposed to do in here. So you're gonna work the stitch as you're supposed to. So you're gonna knit 6, 4, 5, and 6. You're gonna purl 2. Now you have to knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. That's how the stitch go. But you're gonna do the last 2 together. Knit 1, purl 1. So you're supposed to knit 1, but you have 2 that you have to do together, and you're gonna knit them together. And like that is the decrease in this round. That is a repetition of round 1. And you're gonna knit 6, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You're gonna purl 2, and again you're gonna knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. That's how the stitch go. So you knit 1, purl 1, and then the last 2 you're gonna knit them together. But if you're working straight, remember you have to continue as the stitch go. Knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1 until you get to the marker. And like this is how you continue in the decreases for this round. In the next round you're gonna work the stitches as you see them, because you don't do now we're gonna work in 3. You're gonna knit 5, purl 1, knit 2, purl 1, and knit 2 together, because we are already here in the decrease. And remember, if you're working straight, you will continue with, after you do these 2 knit, you do 1 purl 1 knit, 1 purl 1 knit, 1 purl 1 knit until the end, and then pass the marker and continue. So you're gonna do 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You're gonna purl 1. You're gonna knit 2, and then you're gonna purl 1, and you only have 2, and you have to do a decrease, so you're gonna knit those 2 together. You're gonna pass your marker. You're gonna knit 5 again. You're gonna purl 1. You're gonna knit 2. You're gonna purl 1. And you're gonna knit 2 together. And like that, you're gonna continue in this round. In the next one, you will knit 5, purl 1, knit 2, purl 1, and knit 1. Now we will have to work on 5. You're gonna knit 4, purl 1, knit 2, purl 1, and knit 2 together. It's a coincidence that all the two together is a net stitch. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're gonna purl 1. You're gonna knit 2. You're gonna purl 1. And the last 2, you're gonna knit them together. And that's the repetition that you're gonna do in 5 for a round of decrease. You're gonna pass your marker. You're gonna knit 4 again. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're gonna purl 1. You're gonna knit 2. And you're gonna purl 1. And you're gonna knit it 2 together. But if you're working straight, you continue with 1 knit, 1 purl until the mark. It will start to look like that with a decrease. Now I'm gonna record in round 7, and now in this round, these stitches here, it will be no more. The last one will be these 2 together. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna knit 3, purl 1, knit 3, and knit 2 together. So that's 1, 2, and 3. You're gonna purl 1. You're gonna knit 3, and you're gonna knit 2 together. Remember, if you're working straight, you have to continue with 1 knit, 1 purl, 1 knit, 1 purl. After you do 4 knits, then 1 purl, 1 knit, 1 purl, 1 knit, 1 purl, 1 knit. You're going to pass the marker, and again 1, 2, 3 knit, 1 purl, 3 knit, and knit 2 together. And that is the repetition that you're going to do in 7, and in 8 you will knit 3, purl 1, knit 4. I'm going to work on 9, and you're going to knit 2, purl 1, and knit until the last 2. You're going to knit them together. So that's 1 and 2, purl 1, and you're going to knit 1, 2, and 3, and the last 2 you're going to knit them together. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stitches. So this is 9 and 10, the last one that I do the 9 with a decrease and the 10 without. After 11 you'll do decrease in all the rounds. You could have done that this and this one if you want, but I start working with the decrease, and in the next one I will don't, and then 11 I will decrease. So very soon I don't can work with these ones anymore. I will have to change to my double pointed needles. Start to get a little bit difficult passing it around. So I decided that I'm gonna do decrease in round 10 as well, because usually I do the decrease in all the round after I have 8. So in 9 I had 8, I reduced to 7. So I decided that in 10 I will do it the way I always do my hats. So I'm gonna do a decrease in this one as well. So knit 2, purl 1, knit 2, and knit 2 together. Yeah, I was going to speak Spanish. And next round I will be changing to my double pointed needle. 2, 1 purl, 2 knit, knit it together. And like that you're going to continue with the decrease, and this is round 10 of the repetition, and then I will do next 11, changing to my double pointed needles. I finished round 10. Now we're going to work on 11, and at the same time we're going to change to our double pointed needle because I don't have enough space to work with the circular. But if you don't have double pointed needle and you want to do this type of hat, what you do is you pull your cable out as you work and move your stitches around and play with the cable. That way you can continue working with this one. But I like the double pointed needle because it's much easier for me than pulling cables. So I'm going to remove this marker and I'm going to place this one. That way I know where is the beginning and end of my rounds. And then here we have 6 of these space where we're doing the decrease, and we have to work with 4 of this needle and then the other one to continue netting. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put 2 space in one space in this one, 2 space in the next one, and 1 in here. That way I can move the stitches around much easier. Something else that I wanted to mention is if you're working this straight without this decrease, you'll have to continue with the repetition of 11 and 12, 13, 14, 15, and so on, as by the chart or by the video. That way you work until you have the A and a bit. Now I'm going to work in round 12 and the repetition of round 12, and is net 1, purl 1, knit 1, knit 2 together. You pass the marker, knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, knit 2 together. Now we're going to work on repetition of 13, and it's 1 purl at the beginning. So you're going to start with 1 purl. You're going to knit 1, and you're going to knit 2 together. One purl, 1 knit, and knit 2 together, and that is for 13. And 14, again, you're gonna do 1 purl, and then you're gonna knit 2 together, and that's it. That will be the last round of decrease, because you're gonna end up with 2 stitches for each space of the design. Again, now in 14, you're gonna purl 1 and knit 2 together, and that's the repetition that you're gonna do in this last round. If you are very careful losing your tails, the hat could be a reversible hat because it looks really nice on both sides. So once I lose my two tails, I will show you what I look like. This is the inside of the hat, and I absolutely love the stitch in the inside. I don't know yet which one I love the most, it's the inside or the outside, because it looks really nice both way. It's absolutely gorgeous, the stitch. And this is the right side of the hat. And in the crown it look like this. If you continue with the design, it look like a troll. And let me show you in this side as well. Well, like this. So if you don't put a handmade tag, you can wear the hat both way. I don't know if I'm gonna sew a tag in mine, that way it can be used inside out or both way. So I have left here 58 grams of yarn. So with one of these balls is enough to make 2 of these hats. So if you are one of the ladies that sell their projects, this is very nice hat to make, because with one ball you can make well, this hats. Is the end result, and absolutely love this hat. The color is perfect. I thought because the color of the yarn, you don't want to see the stitches, but they look amazing. I absolutely love it, and I hope you guys like it, and give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you are not already a subscriber. And if you make this beautiful hat and you want to send me some picture, you can do it through my Facebook page, Ruby Nets Crochet y Tejido, or my Instagram, Ruby Nets Crochet y Tejido. Please share my video with friends and family, that way you help me grow here on YouTube. I wish you have a beautiful day.